watch them bloom for me and you.
Garlic also works very, very well. Echinacea works very, very well as well.
Right.
Again, you have to limit how you use it. And red raspberry leaf tea works very, very well as well.
Just avoid the golden seal altogether.
Yeah. Now, you say you're allergic to the berberine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the good news is, in case you ever want to, anybody heard of the man, Dr. Schultz, Dr. Richard Schultz? Okay, well, he was more than, there you go. He would. He's a very, very famous naturopath in the world. He was actually one of my instructors at the university. He had a wonderful cliche, and I love what he said. He said, there is no reason to be allergic to good food. He said 9 times out of 10, when you think you're allergic, I'm not saying you're not, when you think you're allergic, you're actually going through what's called a cleansing reaction. The body does react harshly. The body goes, whoa, I actually have something I can work with, and it causes it, and you can feel nausea, fevers, headache, all the allergic reactions. So 9 times out of 10, it's a cleansing reaction. But when it's not, when it is an actual allergy, like some peanut allergies, for example, again, we should not be allergic to peanuts. We should not be allergic to golden seal and all these others. So why are we? Because of the environment that we live in today, one of the fastest growing epidemics is chemical sensitivities. We become sensitive to everything. I've had children come in here and they couldn't have strawberries, couldn't have walnuts, couldn't have peanuts, couldn't have this, couldn't have that. And the parents are so frustrated because they don't know what to give them. Clean the body out. It will heal from those allergies. I've seen it time and time and time again. The body will cleanse out and will heal and the allergies will go away. I've had patients that could not eat walnuts, could not eat strawberries because their mouths just all break out and they have all these allergic reactions. I've seen them every time be able to do it. It takes months. It takes months to get through it, but you can do it. But so, okay, that was one question. You said you had 2.
If you take Cayenne and you already have a lot of inflammation, will the Cayenne increase the inflammation?
No, actually it does the opposite. Great question. Okay, keep this in mind. Remember how I told you that if you touch garlic juice on you long enough, you're going to get a blister? Cayenne is the complete opposite. I'm going to tell you a story about Dr. Christopher. Cayenne, it causes 0 tissue damage. Dr. Christopher proved it in front of his students one time, he and another chap. Dr. Christopher loved Cayenne. When he was born, he had a lot of congenital problems. You know, one was his circulatory system, he just did not do well at all as a child. So he took Cayenne in massive doses. Just in other words, it was in his diet every day, his whole life. He loved Cayenne. He wanted to prove to his students, he was in practice for about 30 or so years, and in 1953, when he stopped practicing, he opened up the medical university that I went to. He, one time in front of his students, with a friend of his, they were going to show you, I'm going to show you that Cayenne causes no damage whatsoever. So he had handfuls of Cayenne, students are out there, and he threw it in his eyes. And they're all like, you crazy old man. He's up there, he's just crying and crying. And he says, just wait, just wait. And when he was done, he said, now come up and look at my eyes. And they were as clear as bell, because Cayenne causes 0 tissue damage. Cayenne, because when it touches you, amongst the many other things it does, is it produces an endorphin reaction. You will actually fight inflammation. Why is it that so many people, we do it here at the clinic, you'll get a Cayenne salve, you know, like a deep heating salve, and you'll put it when your muscles are hurting. They're inflamed. Cayenne takes it out. It works very, very well. It's an anti-inflammatory and it's a painkiller. That you're looking for?
Yep.
Okay.
One more little one.
Okay, and then we go to you, and then we go to you. Okay?
On yarrow, I have a lot of wild yarrow growing in my
A wild gut?
wild yarrow.
Oh, great.
So what part of the yarrow and how would you
The
prepare
flower
if
and
I'm
the flower and the leaf
Okay.
is work. You can actually use the stems too,
Okay.
but it's mostly the flower and the leaf that you can use.
Okay.
And it's actually not a bad tasting tea. It's really not that bad tasting. And the good news is you can flavor it with honey. It's fine.
Randall, can you explain why you do not endorse using silver
No.
for things, because all over the internet for
I
Ebola, it's
know.
like silver,
And I-
silver,
Colloidal
And
silver.
I just
silver.
heard at Orchards, didn't you tell me, babe, there's now a huge section of colloidal silver.
Yeah.
Okay, you go to our website, anybody that wants, you can leave with a brochure card. I'm not trying to push a clinic, I'm trying to tell you where to go get something for free. On our website, on our resources page, is a free download on the dangers of colloidal silver. Does it work? Absolutely. Colloidal silver works. You put it on arthritis, you take it internally, you put it on a wound, it works. It takes that infection right out, it works great. Okay? So does when you go to the doctor and you say, hey, when I hit myself with a hammer, it hurts, and he says, stop doing it, and it gets better. Okay, doesn't mean you shouldn't have hit yourself with a hammer. It's the same. Colloidal silver is a metal. It's called a noble metal. It is still a metal. And one of the biggest things you need to know about colloidal silver, it is not an essential mineral. Okay, what are some of the essential minerals? Calcium, magnesium, phosphorus. Those are all minerals, also metals, right? Rocks. Your body, because it's called essential, your body knows what to do with it. It knows what to do with it. Okay? Silver is a non-essential, it's called a non-essential mineral or metal. Your body does not know what to do with it. So what happens when you take in a metal that your body cannot assimilate? Keeps building up, it accumulates. It has been linked to nerve damage, to liver damage, to type 3, most people don't know about this, type 3 diabetes. We all know about type 1, okay? Type 1 diabetes is juvenile onset diabetes, it's an autoimmune. We got type 2, that is adult onset diabetes. Adult is no longer a good word. As you'll see from that video, Fed Up, children 12 years old and younger are now getting type 2 diabetes because of their bad diets and lifestyle. Okay? Type 3 diabetes has just been discovered in 2005. It's now been linked to Alzheimer's because your brain cells that used to be able to produce insulin don't work anymore. Your body actually uses insulin in the brain to help with memories. Okay? Silver is one of those things, along with aluminum, that attacks the brain. Keep in mind that all metals store in the fatty parts of the body. You've heard the joke, fathead? The brain does have fat in it, and the brain will store mercury, silver, all these other things that people are taking. It works very well. But over time, I think that it's called ephagra, is the disease you get. We have a patient, no way, he refuses to stop using mercury. He's already turning grayish purple. His teeth are all disasters. It's from silver. I'm sorry, what did I say?
Mercury.
Oh, I'm sorry, thank you. Yes. No, I'm glad he's not using mercury. But he is an avid user of silver. He will not stop. His wife has Parkinson's disease. He gave her silver for 30 years until we finally got him to stop, I'm hoping, and she started improving. We got her off of the silver, got her on some other things. She started to improve. Silver will damage the brain, the nervous system, and the liver. It is not a good thing. Just because something's a quick fix doesn't mean it's an appropriate fix. The body, you have a wonderful gift. Every single one of you in this room has a gift called homeostasis. It means the body's ability to tend towards wellness or balance. Hippocrates was a big believer in it before science discovered it, and he believed it existed. The body will heal, given the opportunity, meaning time and resources good food, rest, sleep, hydration. The body will heal on its own. You don't need to give it something it doesn't know what to do with. So, if that helps.
Aaron, though, with the silver you always wear and why you wear
Oh,
it.
okay, great question. I always wear silver. I always have silver on me. Obviously, I'm not sucking on it. I always have it. Why? For the same reason silver works.
Purification.
Purification. If I'm walking around and I'm in the forest, I've been out there a little long and I'm awfully thirsty, there's a neat little stream or pool of water and it's suspect. Is that full of parameciums? Does it have amoebas and stuff in it? I don't know. I can literally take that water, put it into a cup, take my necklace off, and swirl it around in there. And do this for a little bit. As the necklace touches the bacteria, it kills it on contact. That's why colloidal silver works. It kills bacteria on contact. But it doesn't cure the problem, and it eventually becomes accumulative. One of the big things people do is, with arthritis, is they put colloidal silver on there, and it works real fast. And about 3, 4, 5 days later, it's right back again. Well, arthritis, osteoarthritis is an inflammation of the bursa, little sacs in your joints. Okay, it's inflamed because there's bacteria in there. You put the colloidal silver on there, it kills the bacteria, inflammation goes down for a few days. I feel great. But now you got a whole bunch of dead bacteria in there that's got to get out of your system. It comes right back. And it just keeps coming back and keeps coming back because you're not fixing the reason why. You just keep band-aiding it. You had a question?
So, for example, on arthritis, how do you treat that? And the second question on, you said the pepper, it cleans out the veins,
Cayenne pepper?
cayenne pepper?
No,
yeah.
it's not. It does help with it, but its main attribute when it comes to the arteries is to strengthen the walls and make them more efficient so that you do have less blood pressure, you have less bleeding. It makes them stronger. Oh, I got back about Dr. Christopher. He took cayenne his whole life. Well, he passed away about 74 years old. He didn't pass away from old age. He passed away because he slipped on an icy sidewalk and cracked his head, and he passed away. His son David, who now runs the university, said, do an autopsy on him. And they did an autopsy on him, 74 years old, with all these congenital problems. They found out that he had because he'd been taking cayenne his whole life. He had the circulatory system of a 20-year-old, just by taking cayenne his whole life.
Doesn't it help with balancing the blood inside and out? I mean,
Cayenne will help detoxify and do things of that nature. One of the best things, yes, so you can do that. One of the best things I would do for balancing blood and detoxifying and all is apple cider vinegar. It will clear the arteries out better than anything else. I told you all, most of you, I think, the story of my father-in-law who had a 90% heart block. 90% heart block, 76 years old. And they wanted him to have open heart surgery. He said, give me 3 months. He came back to us. We had him do 4 glasses of distilled water a day with a lot of, 1 to 2 or more tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. He drank that every day. Apple cider vinegar is very high in malic acid. Malic acid literally dissolves the trash in your veins. 90% heart block. He did this 4 glasses a day, 6 days a week for 3 months. Did it take 3 months? I doubt it, but we'll never know because he didn't go back to the cardiologist for 3 months. Went back to go get scheduled for his surgery. They checked him. He didn't change his diet because he ate bad, didn't he?
very bad.
Please. My joke is if the cow was walking slow in the field, she was gone. This man refused to change his diet, but by doing apple cider vinegar alone, he went from a 90% block to 0. Completely cleaned his arteries out. They canceled his surgery. He called up and he was all excited. So it does work. Okay. Yes?
How about gout?
Gout. Gout is, what is the one and only source for gout?
Red meat.
That's right. Well, meat, any animal product. Gout is uric acid crystals that get stuck in your joints, mostly the big toe, especially in men. Gotta remember that gout used to be the disease only of royalty. They were the only ones that could afford meat 3 times a day. Now, everyone eats like kings did back then. Even the poor in this country eats better than some of the kings did in the Middle Ages. So gout is uric acid, crystals that have been in the joints. Is in the joints. They are like little shards of glass. Uric acid is a byproduct of digesting animal products. That's all it comes from. What do you do to take care of it? A couple of things that work real fast. One is celery seeds. Celery seeds works, but if you want to feel relief within a couple of days, soak your foot in a 50% solution, 50-50 of distilled water and Bragg's apple cider vinegar. Bragg's. It's got to be Bragg's because it's raw. You soak your foot in that every night like a foot bath. And you can actually use the water several times, the fluid. Okay, so you soak your foot in that every night while you're watching TV or whatever you're doing. Within a few days, you will notice the difference. The malic acid in the apple cider vinegar will literally dissolve the uric acid crystals in your toes. And it works very, very well.
50%?
You mentioned cherry juice or cherries for gout. What would be-
Pure,
That does work.
I tried the pure black cherry juice
Right?
because I was told that I inherited it through my father. That
You inherited the propensity towards it.
Right,
Right.
and so he started using the pure black cherry juice
Sure.
And that's what got me started on it. And it does help.
Just like
It
what you
does
just
help. It
Several
takes a
people
little
do.
bit. You gotta be persistent
right.
about it. You can't just go, okay, I drink one little
I
cup
would-
and walk
I
away.
would recommend that and do the foot baths, because the foot
Okay.
baths will bring you resolution real
'Cause
fast.
I don't just have it in my foot, it's in every one of my joints. I have arthritic gout
Okay.
completely. It's
Okay.
very debilitating.
We have dealt with it many times. We actually have a joint formula here that actually you'll notice a difference within about a week or so taking it. So you can do things like that as well. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? Any other questions?
How do you prevent it once you get rid of the crystals? Do you do apple cider vinegar?
The best way is.
No meat.
Animal products.
Yeah.
That's the best way, but if you're
That's
going to
true.
continue to do it, a daily regimen of 1 to 2 glasses of the apple cider vinegar and distilled water is pretty darn good at helping. It works as a good maintenance.
Now, I was told that fish can irritate it, certain types of fish,
Any kind of fish.
any kind of fish.
Why is that?
Anything with the face. It's
Well, anything with a
basically
face,
the
but
face
you brought up
irritant.
fish, so there's a good reason. Why does fish irritate it? Okay?
Because of the mercury?
Mercury, very good. There is pretty much nowhere on earth now, whether it be fresh or salt, there is pretty much no such thing anymore of fish without mercury. It's in everything, and it's just everywhere. So mercury is just like silver. Mercury is a heavy metal, it's accumulative, it causes nerve damage. You know, something that we've seen here, you know how there's old cliche, canary in the cage, in the cave, but they would bring them down so they could see if there was gas in the cave. Canary's the first one to fall over, it's like, oh, they're out, okay? Cats are the same way for mercury. Little old kitty cats, we've dealt with this here in the clinic before. People will come in and one of the most common things with cats is nervous disorders. They start twitching and things like that. Every time that someone has brought in their cat and we look at their cat, I ask this question and it's yes every time. Do you feed this cat seafood? Oh yeah. Friskies, tuna in a bowl, or whatever, you know, whatever they have in there. All right? I tell them, get the cat off of that immediately. We give them a couple little things to help cleanse the cat out every single time the twitching stops. Because cats are highly more susceptible to mercury than we are, so they're the little canaries in the cage. Yes.
Yeah, what is an alternative to meat? I have a daughter who has been a triathlete, and she suddenly passed out in a big run, and the doctors immediately said, "Wait a minute, you're a vegetarian? Whoa, right now."
Okay.
And so she had to. They insisted she start eating meat.
That is
and-
horrible. Keep in mind, okay, keep this
Yeah.
in mind. Only 6%, the number 6, the one right after 5 and before 7, 6, a little number. Only 6% of all U.S. physicians in the United States have had even one semester credit of nutrition. Out of 10 years of study, that means 94% of all U.S. physicians have had 0 education. They have no idea what they're talking about, unless they're very specific, like Dr. Rusu here in town. He is a vegan physician. He went out and studied on his own. You got Dr. T. Colin Campbell, who we've personally met, who did the China study in Forks Over Knives. He's been a vegan physician researcher most of his life. Most physicians are clueless when they come to it. They have no idea what nutrition is for. One thing that was really valuable that we saw this picture about within the past year, about 8 months ago. This gentleman went on a program like what we have for cancer here, because we have a wonderful success rate with cancer here. This gentleman went on a program like ours. He was young, he had colon cancer. He had 3 feet of his colon removed, and they told him, "Oop, you still got it, we're gonna have to do radiation, chemo, and everything." He took a picture of the first meal they served him when he woke up in the hospital. He had his camera with him, his little smartphone. He wakes up from 3 feet of his colon being removed. He still has cancer. The first meal they served him was a sloppy Joe. Really. So, okay, there you go. They're I'm not trying to be mean, but they're clueless when it comes to it. Anybody, I will send you 2 documents this weekend. It may not be tonight, but it'll probably be tomorrow. I will send you everything that we talked about today, plus a whole lot more. Okay, This, what we send in here that you'll get as a PDF, has all the flu information, all the how to do your own vaccines, you know, natural. One of the things I will send out to everyone, some of you have already gotten it, but I'm going to go ahead and just make a mass email, is a book that my wife put together called the Information Book. I have a copy of it here to show patients, but the digital one is even better, right? It shows people who are massively buffed up, just ripped, you know, tons.
Let me bring you songs from the woods to make you feel much better than you could know.